Okay. Uh, Thank you, Rahul. Nikhil, it's a pleasure to connect with you today on the Fireside Chat. Today, we'll talk about COVID 19 vaccination certificates and how countries should improve trustworthiness of the certificates that they issue. Before we proceed, can we have a little bit background on Cryptel, how you founded it, what your mission was, and how you're helping document security across the world?
Thanks, Rajesh. At Cryptel is a company that we founded in 2011, focused on document security. So I have a background in kind of security for a long time. Before Cryptel, I founded a company called Excellion in '99, which was focused on file transfer security, moving files from one user to another or one process to another. 2011, I focused on a different problem, how to secure the file itself. And it is a very global problem. 30 years back, it was, you had mainframes and it was okay to write computer generated statement, no signature required. But now with access to software, good scanners, printers, people can manufacture authentic looking documents all the time. Secondly, we are in a unique state where we are still living with physical, printed, as well as electronic documents. And all kind like there's no good answer for securing the document in all forms. So we got into Cryptel to solve this everyday problem, which many organizations face, where they suddenly come across that okay, their documents have been tampered or entirely fake documents have been created, which obviously they never generated. So this is the problem we have focused on, and we have customers in all parts of the world. And we are very passionate about this problem. For the first 4 or 5 years of our company, it was mostly in research mode. And since then, around 2015, we got our first production customers, and they are still using us today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely. Tampering is a global phenomena. And now when we are talking of vaccine certificates, because this fireside chat is focused on that, vaccine certificates or immunity certificates are becoming a reality. What challenges do you see in the world today when the certificate is getting issued? And how do you think improving the credentials are critical to ensuring the trustworthiness of these certificates?
Right. So I think this is obviously the world and the authorities all over the world are grappling with a very pressing first concern problem is which vaccine is okay, how to secure production, how to get it to the citizens, and how to roll it out. But soon, very soon, once that is done, we'll be dealing with the second level where what does this vaccine do apart from protecting? It enables people to move. It enables commerce to happen. For that to happen, governments will have to issue certificates so that when a citizen goes from one part of the country to another, or they go from one city in their country to another country, the destination authorities should have the comfort to validate. So we faced the same problem many years back when yellow fever was rampant, and when you visit parts of the world which have yellow fever, that you need to be vaccinated before you can go. So the United Nations came up with what is a very common called a yellow booklet, which literally because of yellow fever, I think they call it the yellow booklet, where when you go to a clinic to get the vaccine for the yellow fever, after that, they will put your name, identification, and chop it and give it to you. So
Absolutely.
40, 50 years back, it was okay. But today, if you go online, you can find, you can order these yellow fever books, and you can fool authorities in all parts of the world.
Absolutely.
So we should not repeat the same mistakes now. So what we are interested in, and we have found other people in government who believe in this, that we have to do better this time for our citizens as well as for the world health, because the implications are very severe. That if people without vaccination start traveling with fake certificates, then we are back to square one and we are back to pandemic 2.0, right? So to prevent that, it is very important to have a foolproof, simple, easy method to validate that this person really did indeed get the vaccine, and you can trust this document that they are presenting. So this is the crux of the problem. And of course, many governments are approaching it differently. So I think that is the problem that we want to talk about today.
Wonderful. Yes, absolutely. Yellow fever, booklet, this seems so ancient. Today, how do you think technology can fix this problem? And because you're working in the area of QR codes, do you foresee secure QR codes or security codes or something similar to play a significant role in this process?
Yes, I think adoption of QR codes has improved, but obviously, a problem can be solved in many ways, and there is no right and wrong. So let's go back to the basics. Most governments will have a centralized database of citizens who have been vaccinated. It is not only for tracking, but it is also because typically most of these vaccines are 2 doses, and you have to track who has taken one and when are they eligible to get the second one. So let's assume that you are a country which has recognized this as a centralized database and you are tracking all the citizens. Next, typically they'll give you a piece of paper, which because the vaccination, particularly in large countries, will be very distributed. And you need to be able to give something on the spot to the person that you have got this vaccine at this time. But that piece of paper has it's not like a certificate, it is just like a chit or a receipt for your tracking purpose. But later, when you want to get a vaccine certificate, our recommendation to most countries is use your centralized database, let your citizens log in through their national ID programs. So when they log in to request for a certificate, at that time, you can query your centralized database to check whether they have indeed received the vaccination. If yes, you can provide them, get them to download a PDF, which will show the details, something like this. I have a sample here. So it is just a sample. And the real deal would be that you'll have the country's national emblem, Ministry of Health, or whatever authority which is giving the certificate with details of the certificate. And this could be given to the citizen as an electronic copy, PDF, which they can store it on their phone, or they can print it out. Now, it is very important to not have a pure electronic credential, because in the real world, we have got people of all technical abilities who will be needing these certificates and traveling. So they need the comfort to be able to print it, not be dependent on a smartphone or an app to carry this certificate. So our recommendation is give them an electronic PDF, which they can print or keep it electronically. And now the problem is when that person presents that certificate to an airline at the check-in counter or does an online check-in or goes to the destination country, how do the authorities there verify it? And that is where technologies like Cryptal come in, where what we provide is our customers to create the secure QR code, where all this data, which is printed on the certificate, is sealed inside this QR code. It is digitally signed cryptographically, and anyone just needs to visit the domain, which can be verified.country.gov. Whatever the country domain is. And when the person goes there, they can install the app, or they can upload a copy of the PDF or take a photo of the certificate, or even use the phone camera or a laptop camera to validate just without installing an app, or they can install the app. So this is for ad hoc verification. But now, really, now you have to think of scale. You will have hundreds of millions of people having these certificates traveling. It might become a normal part of online check-in process. How would you validate at scale? So because Cryptal's technology enables decentralized validation with a public key, our recommendation to our customers is that you can issue your public key. And then like airlines or other countries, when you upload a copy of your certificate, like, am I eligible to enter your country? This is my certificate. They can programmatically, with that API key or an SDK that we provide, validate this QR code without even network connectivity. It works offline. And they can instantly validate, it works flawlessly, and they can trust that the other country's Ministry of Health or the government has issued this certificate. They can verify the name, passport number, and all those details. And once they are satisfied, in their database, they can enter. They can allow that person to enter and automate the entire process. So this is where I think we think this is a good solution, because not only it enables the person at the airline desk or a security officer at an airport to just use an app to scan and validate, right? That is one. But it also allows automated validation when people are uploading millions of these certificates every day when they do an online check-in or they're trying to get an online permission to enter a country. It is really good for privacy because no data is stored in any outside the country. It is all inside this QR code. So it is a lot of countries have healthcare compliance requirements that data and citizens, healthcare data of my citizens cannot be stored outside the borders of the country. So it is a total non-issue here because all the data is inside the QR code and you don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely. This sounds like a good solution. And at the same time, when we are talking of QR codes, I mean, you're talking of tampering of these certificates, which might happen. What do you think the good practices or the best practices a country should adopt when you're talking of these immunity certificates or COVID vaccination certificates?
I think there are many smart people solving this problem. My role is only on the validation part, but just to put it in like a checklist form, one is have a centralized database, track, nothing to do with certificate. Obviously, every country would be doing that. I think it's kind of like a given. Second is centralized location where people can log in and download these certificates. And thirdly, make sure these certificates can be validated offline. Okay. Fourthly, try to do digital signing. I think that is the only right way it works, where you have a PKI infrastructure where the public keys can be distributed and other people can validate. Then as a best practice, we recommend using a HSM, hardware security module to store the private key, and Cryptal software works with HSMs where the digital signing happens on your HSM. So there's the entire chain of non-repudiation where the signing happens in a sealed containerized environment. And then anyone in the world can validate with just the public key and the QR code. It's very simple, very few moving parts, and it scales well. No network dependency, so that I think when you have millions of people every day being validated, then there are no bottlenecks in this. And everything is in the control of the issuing organization.
Thank you, Nikhil. This looks simple. Possibly, how sophisticated is this in terms of security compared to the normal QR codes? Because there is something called a normal QR code which people use, and there is secure QR code which you're talking about. What is this difference here?
See, QR code is just like you can think of it like a font or like a file. There is no security. Just like you can write ABCD, you can write it in QR code font, which will look like a QR code. So there's security comes how you put inside, what you put inside the QR code in what form. In Cryptal, what we do is we compress the information highly because you can have a small QR code, we digitally sign it and seal it inside it. And we especially encode it so that you end up with a small QR code. But a normal QR code that you find is typically has a URL inside. Even for validation, which is really bad for security because we have all heard of phishing. Don't click on links inside emails. Don't always be careful where you are connecting, which server you are connecting. If you put a URL inside a QR code, you're opening up your QR code for phishing manipulation, there's a term now called QR phishing, where people will take your certificate, replace the QR code, and put their own QR code, will point to their own server. And when someone visits that server, they are hardly looking at what is the exact host name. There might be some spelling changes or something. Your logo will be there and everything. And not only they can mislead the people and make false look true, but they can go much beyond that. They can ask people to register, enter sensitive personal details before they can validate. And they can not only fool by getting their tampered certificates being validated, but collect information as well. So this is really bad for security. And that is why we recommend that QR code should never have a URLs inside if you value security in that use case.
Wonderful. So if I extend that further, what you're essentially saying is at the place of generation of the certificate, the QR code is secured. The second point is it goes digitally and it can be used on paper format as well, depending on the user's convenience. Irrespective of the way the medium exists, it can be verified by a third party, be it an immigration officer or some other health officer, an airline official who necessarily is not connected into the network of the particular government or the entity. So a third party can verify this using a web or a mobile app. Have I summarized that?
Right. So I think, again, we have to understand that today's world is very fluid, right? So let's take the example of a passport. So a passport, typically the e-passports today have a chip inside, and it requires special hardware to validate. But passports, so what happens is that when you use that passport to open a bank account, they cannot validate whether it's a genuine passport or not. But immigration departments of all over the world can validate because it has the chip, they have a chip reader. Similarly, but then you have the validation is happening at only select points in this case, right? We can do a lot better with this digitally signed secure QR code because we can empower anyone who comes across that document to be able to validate with just the public key of the issuing organization. Okay. So I think it is a lot more fluid in today's world. The only requirement is just a smartphone, which nearly everyone in the world has. It works in developed countries, developing countries, even totally undeveloped countries. It will work everywhere. It works without network connectivity because it just works in public key. So it is a very democratic technology in that sense that everyone can use it, and it is much lower cost than hardware-based solutions, which are much more expensive, not only for document generation, but also for validation.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Nikhil, I think this is a good step, and hopefully the audience listening to you, the lawmakers listening to you, or this fireside chat, take cognizance of this, and this helps in improving the overall efficiency and trustworthiness of the vaccine certificates. Is there any specific audience that you think should start looking at this seriously?
I think it is really two audiences. One is the national health authorities, which need to issue these certificates. And to them, my message is, this works. This is very simple. We have had customers getting the POC done within a day. So it is not that kind of a technology which will take months and you'll have an army of consultants. Just one or two developers can get the POC working within a day. And then after that, you can deploy it, which of course is a more involved discussion, but we are talking about weeks here, not even months. And the other audience is the people who are in the travel business, the authorities, the airlines, the immigration departments of different countries who will be the consumers of this information, who need to validate. So our primary message is to the issuers, which are the health authorities, and the secondary message is to all the people who will benefit from it. And there is a very simple, better way, and we don't have to suffer from, oh, we got a fake of tampered vaccination certificate, and then now another city is under a lockdown because infections have spread.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. So what for the authorities and the whole vaccination development has speeded up. And what you're saying is now even the generation of the certificates, even implementation of this technology is less than 24 hours, or it can be pretty much speeded up, that within 24 hours, someone can implement this solution into their organizations. That's one part. On the other side, what you're also saying is interesting, because the efficiency, when you start rolling out, it gives an immense flexibility and efficiency in terms of rollout. Probably the thing the industry is looking at, governments are looking at. I think this is a wonderful thing. Any other messages? Otherwise, we can close this discussion.
I think we have covered it enough, and it is a simple thing. It is not. It is neat technology, but packaged in a very simple to consume form for everyone. And there is really, literally, there's not more to it than what I just said. It is simple to do, simple to implement, simple to use. And we have customers who have really cut down on fraud with this. It just works as advertised.
It works. That summarizes probably. It just works, right? Thank you once again, Nikhil. It was a wonderful discussion with you, and I hope together we all are contributing our little bit as humanity to get over this health crisis that we have all over the world. Thank you very much. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thanks, Rajesh, and we look forward to doing our bit.
Thank you.